Welcome back, guys, and thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you guys stopping by. I'm going to talk more about the cost of karting. I hit up on my last video. If you haven't seen it, I'll leave a link where you can go watch that one. It's about, the startup, how I got started, the cost of karts, basically a general idea, a rough idea how to get into it. Now this is what it costs me. All right, everybody has different. It's going to cost everyone differently on how they do it. This is what it costs me to go race a local weekend, to race a state weekend, and to race a national event, just so you have a slight idea. All right, I broke it down by track costs, fuel costs, stay, food, if I buy tires, and I put a minimum, the least amount of money I can spend on that weekend, and then basically a rough estimate of if I tear things up. Local events that I picked were the ones I go to the most is Ocala, Orlando, Homestead. Then state events I picked is the ones we did for SSKC last year was Ocala, Anderson, Homestead as well. So, and then for nationals I picked the most expensive Rock Cup event that cost me, and the Grands up in Newcastle, because that was a trip, a big haul, but I was able to spread that one out between a couple of friends. We split costs, so it didn't turn out to be as much as I thought. Once I break it down, it's a weekend is not expensive. If you live close to the track, most of it's on fuel and stay. Not really fuel, I would say fuel. But other than that, the 206 class, you pay some pump fuel or fuel at the track, whatever your track recommends for fuel, and then basically getting there and getting back, and then track fees. So let's get going. For the local event OGP, right? Track fees, I run 2 classes, is $85 roughly. I don't know really off the exact number off the top of my head, but it's $85. Fuel to get me there is $56. Or I'm driving from Savannah, Georgia, so, and I get about 22 to 24 miles per gallon on my diesel. Depends how hard I drive it. Stay. I use stay in Miguel's trailer. My parents are not that far from the house. Or I do a day trip. I go down really early in the morning, and then come back that day. Stay for me is usually around $12, and that's because I take a shower if I spend the night in Miguel's trailer at the truck stop. That's right there. I think it's a Love's truck stop. It's anywhere between $8 to $12. Showers aren't bad. The facilities are nice. So if you ever wonder how I keep costs down, that's how I do my double headers. I do Ocala, pack everything up, drive down to about 30 miles away. There's a Pilot truck stop. Stay there at night in my truck, get up early in the morning, take a shower, and then head on out to a Homestead. And after races, I drive up. So food depends if we go out to eat. If I buy different stuff, I put $40 for food. Could be more or less. Tires, I only buy tires for the first race of the series for both summer and fall winter tour, so that's $200. And then see if I bust anything up, $50 in parts, so and so. So the minimum for the weekend, the least amount I can spend, and that's if I don't buy tires and I don't break anything, will be $193. So about $195, $200 for that weekend for the local. Now if I bust some stuff up and I go with the tires, it's close to $500, $468. So that's for Ocala. So I could spend about $200 for the weekend, or about $500 for the weekend, just depending on everything. That's basically about the rough estimate. Orlando, it's a 2-day event. It's $83 for both days. One class, 365 MG tires. Now all these tracks are MG tires, so I don't have to go buy different tire compounds for different tracks. That's why I race tracks predominantly run with MG tires because I don't have to go buy different sets of tires, unmount tires, mount tires. It's just a hassle. So that's the reason why I race at tracks, either open tires or MG tires. It's just easier that way for me personally. It's $83. It's $67 in fuel. I have family down there, so I stay with family, so it's free for me to stay. Food anywhere between 40 to 60 bucks. Tires, same thing. You don't have to pay tires, but if I were to pay tires, it's $200. Parts, I put like a flat rate of 50 bucks. I usually don't tear anything up. And then parking's free. So Orlando turns out to be the least amount will be $190, and the most will be around $440 to $480. I could spend on the weekend. You get 2 full days of track. You know, Orlando's a great facility. You can't beat it. Homestead's the same way. Now this is early registration. It's $70 for early registration, and prices go up the later you wait. So check for pricing for Homestead. Fuel cost is $126 though. It's about a 7.5 8 hour drive for me, so fuel's a little bit expensive. I do have friends that stay down there, so that cost is usually free if I stay with them, or $12. Take a shower at a truck stop. Food anywhere between 60 to 100. I know food prices seem a little high, but you know I like to go out to eat once in a while. That's why I run heavy class. All right, I know it. Tires, the same thing. They run MG tires though, so I usually don't buy any tires when I go down there. And then parts, and then parking's free. The minimum for Homestead though is $280. If I went from here, Homestead and back. The max I could spend is around $550, depending on parts and if I decide to buy tires one weekend. So those are local prices and events for what costs me. Now let's get to the state events. Now the state will be a little bit more, of course. Entry fee is for 2 days. This is SSKC, so it's about $180, give or take. If I'm off on numbers, don't kill me. Fuel for Ocala is $56. Stay is around 50 bucks. Depends. We get Airbnbs. We don't get hotels. I get an Airbnb. Okay, way cheaper. You can split a lot easier. Or I'm lucky enough that my dad has an RV and lets us borrow it. He cooks for us, and then he complains about how we're driving the whole time. Yeah, it's a family event, man. We give each other so much crap. I love it. It's something that brings the family together, man. Jesus, even if you used to go out there and have a good time, all the racers, all the families, it's a blast. Being during this lockdown, as you can see, I'm going a little crazy because I'm trying different things with hairstyles. Oh, my beard. My wife is a great sport. Food, 80 to 120. Tires, if you come to a state event, you are going to be buying tires. The only track that you can get away with it is Homestead. I don't think tires make that big of a deal. The track you cannot get away with it is Anderson. You have to buy tires when you show up to Anderson if you want to go for the win. Parts, you can spend up to $7,500. Depends if you tear something up. That's all up and down numbers. And then parking, depends on what event. It's between 50 to 200 bucks on parking. To be in the tent with TB, they cover parking, so it's $100 a day for the event. So I spent 200 bucks on parking for tuning advice, driver coaching. They take care of me. So I always say the team behind you is that last 2 to 3 tenths you're missing to get to the front. Because by myself, I'm not that fast. I'm really not. So the minimum I could spend that weekend if I got no parking, I still got to pay parking by myself, but it's like just track. It's usually around $50, $60. It's depending on some locations. For a state event, you're looking anywhere between $425. The max around $850. All subject to change, right? It could be more or less for you depending where you stay. Fuel that I've been factoring in is fuel for the go-kart as well. So just think about, if you go to Ocala, you might be saving some money if you live close. You might be saving money on stay. Say you don't decide to get tires, so it might be less, south of 400, but you're gonna be looking around 400 bucks. For Anderson, for me, it's 180 entry fee, $91 for fuel. It was $93 total between my brother, my dad, and myself to stay in Airbnb for the weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So I broke that up, roughly 100 bucks between all of us. We split it, so one will cover dinner one night. So it turned out to be, I say $35 a piece. Food, we 100 bucks on food. Definitely you need your tires. The minimum that you would spend at an event for Anderson will be $451. Paid parking on the side. I paid under the tent, so max. You're looking at just south of $900, $876. Homestead, same thing. 180 for the track, 126 for fuel. That's what it cost me. To stay, we stayed at the RV, which turned out to be like 125, but that covered parking as well at the track. Food, anywhere between, you know, up and down, 80. I always pay $80. Tires, 200 bucks for tires. You're looking at 490 to about 900 bucks if you get the parking as well with the team, or if you buy tires, or if you all out. Now for a national event, now people say, why would you run a national event for 206? Because the people only showing up are the best of the best, and I want to race against the best. I struggled this year at the Rock Cup. I did much better at SCUSA. I just could not, you know, that was just all on me, to be honest, all on me. But I still had a blast, and I still raced with the best guys out there, which I thought. But I get lucky because I live in Florida, man. Some of the best racers are in Florida. Some of the best racers come from other states that come down to Florida during the winter, so I get to race against them anyway on an off weekend or a local weekend. So really, I'm lucky enough to race against some of the best guys in the country anyway. So I'm pretty sure everywhere has amazing racers. Don't get upset and start blowing up the comments about, we got the best racers here. Really, we should do a well, what the grands are. Everybody should just go to the grands, right? You think your state has the best racers, go to the grands, and we'll sell it there. Not me. I'll be rooting for another guy from Florida that's faster, and then right now say we got the best racers. And I know I live in Georgia, but I'm from Florida and I race in Florida, so I claim Florida. National event. I'm delaying because the figures, when I did the figures inside, I was like, woo, they're kind of high. So for the Rock Cup, entry fee is $550. That covers your tires. That covers not fuel, but covers your tires. Pit is separate, so I pit with the team, which covered the pit fee as well. It's $150 a day. It was $450 for the weekend, the pit with the team. Fuel to get down, and this is I picked West Palm. Fuel to get down was $102 for me. Stay was $150 for 4 nights at an Airbnb. Food was $120. Parts, you can spend anywhere between nothing to $300. Depends on how much you tear up, like Ocala. So the minimum you would spend at a event, and then this is just minimum for me, it's $1,330, and the max is $1,780. So if you want to go to a rock event, just go out, and it's a whole experience, because how they run the event, how things are set on schedule, how officiating is done. Like, I got a little behind the scenes action. I don't want to say too much, but I got a little behind the scenes action of how they do the officiating, and it's like professional, top of the line. If you do one of these events, you're paying what you get for. I mean, to me, it's well worth the money for the service I get in return. Everything's just top notch. So you're looking at anywhere between $1,300 to $1,800. Now the Grands Nationals up in Newcastle. You know what? The number's gonna change. I don't remember the entry fee, to be honest. I bought one set of tires for practice. You need Vega Reds. That's the only downside to the event. Anywhere else you can just run your own tires, and then when it comes race time, you put on their official tires. But for there, you had to run Vegas for practice as well. It's whatever. I understand, sponsor, blah blah blah. Hopefully they go to MGs. Probably not. They'll probably stay Vegas. MGs for me because that's where I run. So it's $500, and I put tires in there as well. I'm not sure how much it was. Could be more or less. Let me know. Someone please message me how much they spent on entry fee and tires. Fuel to get up there was $200. We split it a couple ways. We took Heath's car. He was a good gas saver. So it's $200 in fuel. Stay ended up being $75 for myself. I split it between six people, I think. We got an Airbnb for the weekend, so stay wasn't that much. Food, $180. Now food also includes beer and soft drinks, so yeah, I factor that stuff in there. Parts, I really didn't tear anything up. We beat a lot of stuff back together, to be honest. I only spent $120 on parts. Parking, we picked up free parking in the back. I'm hoping TB goes up and we put parking in the front, because in the back was kind of a haul. And then the minimum you could spend is $925, so around $1,000. And the thing is, I raced 2 classes too. I raced the CIK medium, which was insane, having 73 carts. And then I raced the heavy, which was still a big class as well. So I raced 2 classes that weekend. And then the max you would spend was, I put $1,700 is what you could spend, the max. Now, these figures don't factor in. People say, yeah, I bring extra parts and clutches. I would bring extra springs and shoes. Depends. I don't replace the clutch. I blow it out, maybe. That's it. I don't even touch the clutch. That's just me. I know that's gonna blow up and make a big argument. I run the Hilliard Fury, the cheapo. Whatever's a cheapo clutch from Hilliard, that's the one I've always been running. I've done it for road racing, so don't tell me it burns up, because in road racing, our gearing is a 2.6, and there's some slow corners where you're going slow. So to me, I don't burn the clutch up with that joker. I take it out once a weekend or after the day of the race. I clean it out, blow it out, put it back together, call it good. That's just me. Getting the motor freshened up. That's where I failed. I should have done that. I raced my 24-hour motor, which is a still good motor, but if you come to this event, you should have a fresh motor. Local engine guy, he'll take care of you. For us in the area, TS Racing Dave, he's the one that does it. TS Racing, I call it Dave, but the guy's name is Dave from TS Racing. And then Miguel does John from CKI. So, different flavors for different people. And then, different parts you want to bring. If you want to bring, extra tires, extra rims. So that doesn't factor that in. So there's additional cost to it. But you get the rough estimate, just a gist of it. So I think I've done plenty of talking. I hope this video was helpful. I'm sorry it was long-winded and long. You just want to get people out there. If they're getting in the sport, they have an idea. Okay, now I know how much this thing costs, how much I'm going to spend, how much it's going to cost me to go race a weekend now. Well, now you have an idea of how much it's going to cost you to race your weekend. That's how much it costs me. It might cost you a little bit less, might cost you a little bit more. Just depends. If you like this video, leave a thumbs up, leave a comment below what the next video should be. Hopefully we get back to racing soon. I'm hoping everybody stays safe, and I will see you on track soon enough. Take it easy, guys.